Looking for a fast-charging, ultra-responsive stylus for your iPad? Meet the 2X Fast Charge Active Stylus Pen, designed for 2018 to 2025 Apple iPads. Take your creativity and productivity to the next level. Click the link in the video description to shop now on Amazon.
Assisted dying debate turns bitter as terminally ill, calling out for choice. Campaigners have urged MPs to focus on the suffering of terminally ill people who are calling out for choice, as the battle for assisted dying became embittered. With time running out for supporters of changing the law like Dame Esther Rantzen, whose medication for terminal lung cancer has stopped working, there was growing anger at opponents trying to kick Kim Leadbeater's historic bill down the line like a political football. Both sides have been vying for support as they fight over the biggest change to healthcare in Britain in the 21st century. Ms. Leadbeater has hit back at her critics by insisting the process of crafting the landmark legislation has been thorough, rigorous, and professional. But its opponents have been working to persuade MPs who initially supported the bill to kill it off, likely dooming any chance of assisted dying being legalized before the next general election. This came as the daughter of TV star Dame Esther, 84, Britain's highest-profile champion of assisted dying, was no longer responding to her terminal cancer drugs. Ms. Leadbeater said MPs must be allowed to decide for themselves if this is the right thing to do in order to give terminally ill people choice at the end of their lives and put right the injustices in the law as it stands. Don't miss Dame Esther Rantzen too ill to end her life at Dignitas, daughter says latest. Dying Dame Esther's daughter says every day is a moment to cherish latest. Esther Rantzen, no longer responding to new medication. Daughter shares latest. Assisted dying should not be rushed. MP defends delay to introduction latest. Her terminally ill adults, end of life, bill has been backed by the Express Give Us Our Last Rights crusade. Yet Danny Kruger, a conservative opponent of the proposed reforms, said the bill was in disarray. Changes to the draft law have extended the implementation period from 2 years to 4, meaning assisted dying may not become available until 2029. Mr. Kruger said, "The fact the government has decided to double the time for implementation shows the bill is in disarray." He claimed safeguards have been weakened and said he trusted that MPs who at first backed the bill will conclude they can no longer support it. Ms. Leadbeater was understood to have tabled the change to the implementation period after being warned by the Department of Health that more time would be needed due to the bill's complexity and high number of safeguards. She said, "I've always said it's more important to get this right than to do it quickly. Doing it properly and safely is of paramount importance, so I reluctantly accepted a 4-year backstop, but it is very much a backstop." Ms. Leadbeater admitted she gets frustrated when opponents of the bill in the media or in Parliament suggest that this bill has been done in a way that is anything but thorough, rigorous, and professional. She said she believed MPs who study the latest version of the legislation will see that it's benefited from all that expertise as well as the extremely hard work of the committee over some 90 hours of careful scrutiny. Former Education Secretary Kit Malthouse added his support, saying, "The bill has emerged with significant improvements, and I know now that MPs will consider it again in detail. I hope it will particularly command support from those who agreed in principle last time, but voted against because they wanted something safer and more exacting." The bill is now exactly that. But Conservative MP Rebecca Paul, who has been part of the bill's scrutiny committee, said, "I had really hoped after months of line-by-line scrutiny that the amended bill would be truly world-class in terms of safeguards, but it simply is. I remain of the view that the bill isn't safe enough, and more people will be harmed by it than helped." Gordon MacDonald, of campaign group Care Not Killing, added that the process has exposed the lie that legalizing state-sanctioned killing of the terminally ill can be done safely, and without putting the lives of vulnerable people at risk. But Sarah Wooten, of Dignity in Dying, countered, "The committee has produced a bill that is even safer, fairer, and more workable, and which provides choice to those who want and need it at the end of their lives. When MPs come to consider the legislation in the votes to come, they must remember the terminally ill people and their loved ones who suffer under the status quo and are calling out for choice. Don't miss. Iman Holmes shares devastating death plans after emotional health confession latest. Assisted dying bill in doubt as Labour MP agrees to delay latest. A tiny island has shown Westminster the way forward on assisted dying. Latest, first part of British Isles to legalise assisted dying after landmark vote latest. We use your sign-up to provide content in ways you've consented to and to improve our understanding of you. This may include adverts from us and third parties based on our understanding. You can unsubscribe at any time. Read our privacy policy. Liz Saville Roberts, a Plaid Cymru member of the Scrutiny Committee, said she hoped the Commons can work together to pass an effective piece of legislation that both respects the individual's right to autonomy and protects vulnerable people from coercion and abuse. During the committee stage of the scrutiny process, key changes were made, including swapping the High Court for a multidisciplinary panel of lawyers, social workers, and psychiatrists to review cases. A requirement was also introduced for doctors involved with the service to undergo mandatory training in detecting coercion. The bill is due to return to the Commons for a report stage on April 25, which will be followed by a third reading vote.